Odie Asman. Odie Asman. I don't know much about Asman. I'm more of a tit man myself. What do you think of that, my Nipponese friend? You get it? Because I like tits, you see. Anyway, what was the question? Ooh, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am the Story-Driven Gamer, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are hopping back into the Great Ace Attorney 2, Resolve. As you can see, we are joined by Lord Van Zieks in his office. Looking snazzy and somewhat intimidating, as always. So, last episode, we started Chapter 2. Sorry, 3. I can't count. Yeah, Chapter 3. And we got a whole new case. Although we only got the case recently. We started off the episode, we saw that there was a video or a presentation at the London exhibit that involved a scientist of some kind, or an engineer, showing off his teleportation device. And there was an accident that went wrong, and the guy who was the test subject, I guess you could say, I don't know exactly what happened, but he blew up or something. There was an explosion, and he died. So, but before that, if you remember, we're back in the present, and Ryunosuke, after the incident last game with Gina, he was barred from being a lawyer. So we had to go see Strongheart and get him to let us practice again, and he agreed, as long as we took on this case. So we haven't met with the defendant yet. That'll be next, I believe. And oh yeah, and then obviously I'm with Van Zieks, because the other big incident that occurred is that Van Zieks was attacked by somebody who we believe to be the real Reaper the Bailey. So we're gonna see what that's about. That's why we're here. We're here to check up on our Zykesy Poo, make sure he's okay, make sure he's getting some, getting enough sleep, getting his bed rest, so that, I don't know if he's gonna be the prosecutor for this case then. I mean, he looks fine by what we see. So apparently he was actually attacked by armed, gunmen, so I'm surprised he's looking as well as he is. But, it turns out the murder victim was involved in this. Involved in the attack against Van Zieks, so of course it's all going to be connected somehow. We just don't know all the pieces yet. So anywho, a couple of things. Funnily enough, right before I started recording, because last time I forgotten to check the trophies to see what this chapter's objective was, because there's an objective for each case to get a trophy, and this one's very easy. I was probably going to do it. It's probably the first thing I was going to do anyway, which is present my armband to Lord Van Zieks. So we'll do that in a moment. And let me see if I can take a look at it. If I go to examine, there he is. I'm not going to examine him yet, but this is apparently Van Zieks' apprentice. And he's also the guy, I'm pretty sure, who's in the newspaper. I noticed when I was editing the last episode, I think there's new dialogue if I turn the paper over to the Lord Van Zieks story, because it's not checked anymore. See, there's a check mark, and this didn't. So I noticed that while editing. Oh, and we have a lost cat. How could I forget? Silly me, that's the most important news story. More important than the Reaper, more important than whatever happened at the London Tower. Who gives a crap? I just want to find the lost cat. That's all I care about. Okay, anyway, so let's present the armband first. Get that trophy. Van Zieks, take a look at this. Hopefully this makes you feel better. I know you've seen this around my arm before, but what is it exactly? It's the mark of a defense lawyer. In Japan, at least. And what's your reason for showing it to a British prosecutor? I have better things to do with my time? Oh, well, I don't know, really. It's kind of habit at this point. Get out of my sight. I can understand, at least. There's merit in reminding yourself of who helped you become what you are today. Oh. But that's a personal matter. Something you may want to keep close at all times. Not something to flaunt. Oh, that was actually kind of touching. Nice words. And look at him, he has his hand over his heart. Oh no, I think it's over his own badge. Oh, I wonder if there's a story there. No, I suppose not. Thank you for understanding, though. Inspirational roots. Yeah, that was inspirational. I think you just misunderstood. I think you're actually a swell guy. Did I ever examine the armband? I don't know, let's give it a try. I don't remember how... Oh, so you have skill balances in Japan too, do you? I kind of forgot Iris was with us. Well, that's the other thing that happened. Iris is joining us on our investigation. Well, yes, but nothing like the old Bailey's huge example. The thing about those scales is, they're only ever in balance right at the start of the trial, aren't they? Otherwise, they always seem to be hanging one way or another. I'd noticed that exact same thing. Yes, indeed. Okay. So let me just take a look at this side. Maybe we have new stuff to say about the apprentice or the Van Zieks or whatever. Oh yeah, we also have Iris with us, so she probably adds new dialogue. The Reaper attacked. It's the kingpins of the criminal underworld generally managing to escape conviction in the Reaper's trial. And this isn't the first time their henchmen have tried to attack Lord Van Zieks as a result, by the sound of it. Yeah, apparently he's been attacked more than once. It makes you think. If that's how the justice system works in London, then there must be dark forces at work. Dark forces indeed. Now, about that cat. Okay. Okay, so that's that. We are going to examine the office first. We'll start on this side and work our way down. This is exciting. We haven't been in his office at all, I don't think. I think this is the first time. New stuff to examine. Lord Van Zieks' desk. Look, it's so stylish. And that's a marble chess set beside it. Yeah, I tried examining it just now. Chess. That's the Western version of our Japanese shogi game, isn't it? You know, I'm actually quite good at shogi problems. Then maybe you'd be good at chess. Oh, really? You probably like chess problems in that case. I love to challenge Lord Van Zieks sometimes. I would destroy you, Ryunosuke. Don't even try it. Okay, sorry. To a bout of shogi problems, not chess. If you only really want to challenge yourself, you can always do that on your own at home. That is true. Give chess a try, Ryunosuke. You might like it. Ooh, this is some nice fine china. Look at that fine collection of hallowed chalices and bottles nearly lined up there. Oh yeah, the bottles are on top. My hallowed bottles are filled with the essence of the finest grapes from the finest vineyards I visit. And I personally oversee these chalices being made by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world. God himself has blessed them, each and every one of them. And yet you throw them around in court like they were worthless. Fair point. Yes. Because this imbecile is so unimaginably and repeatedly wide of the mark sometimes. I can't stand it. I want to bash him over the head with these chalices! But I hold off on that. Oh. Sorry? Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans whose work you defile. So, it's my fault? Silly me, how could I have ever thought otherwise? Yeah, Ryunosuke, it's all your fault. Okay, anything else on this side? Okay. Nope. Let's examine this giant... What is this, a replica of the city? There's the London Tower. Ooh, a Ferris wheel. A hot air balloon. Let's see, what's this about? And then we'll take a look at that picture. Oh, look, it's a scale model of the Great Exhibition Showground. Ah. That's amazing. I wonder why it's here. Beats me. Perhaps he made it to take his mind off the sadness of being too busy to attend in person. Or perhaps he's too embarrassed to queue up for a ticket. Surely it's obvious that I'm using it as an investigative aid, you imbecile. Ah! My bee! You Nipponese have no business painting others as overly reserved. Ugh. I really didn't think you'd overhear that. I only shouted at the top of my lungs, that's all. Okay. Care to explain this? Is that supposed to be him? That portrait really dominates the room, doesn't it? Just a little bit. It's bigger than the replica of the city. Oh, that is a cool poster. Oh, that's a cool picture. I'm not gonna lie. It's a very majestic outfit and pose, but sadly, whoever painted it didn't do a very good job of capturing Lord Van Zieks' facial features. Maybe it's not really him? I mean, it kind of looks like him. It looks like Xehanort, to be honest. I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan. Yes, you're right. I mean, it's not far off, but the artist has exaggerated his subject's handsomeness, I think. Yeah, it could be that. Or it could be like his grandfather or his father or something. Ah, that reminds me. I heard Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists to make him look more attractive when they painted him. I mean, wouldn't you? How vain. That's really not an attractive quality in a person, is it? That portrait does not depict me. Yeah, I had a feeling. Surely that's immediately obvious. Oh, then who is it? Not gonna tell us? It is my father, Lord Van Zieks. Excuse me? You heard me. Lord Van Zieks. Okay, I think that's it. And I'm saving you for last, Mr. Apprentice. Let's see, what are these bottles on the wall here? Or barrels. Look at all those ancient casks lining the wall there. Casks in the Reaper's chamber? Or are they caskets? You don't think all those people who escaped conviction in court are lying inside them dead, do you? Open them up right now. What, do they think it's like a morgue? Like an old-timey morgue? What ridiculous notions are going through your head, man? This is my collection of fine vintages. Oh. Yes, of course, silly me. Thank you for clearing that up. Yeah. Runo and I were just musing to ourselves. Don't mind us, Mr. Reaper. Just having a bit of fun and all that. I wouldn't if you hadn't invited yourself to my office to talk nonsense within my earshot. Okay, you got a point. Like you've literally just been standing there talking to yourselves. You haven't said a word to me. So what is this? Bats? Oh! Hello. Wah! They were bats. I couldn't even tell what they were at first. Yes, the Reaper's familiars, I expect. Straight out of Castlevania. But what about the mute man in the dark cloak? I thought he was the familiar. Just not the flying kind. He must be a dear friend of Mr. Reaper, then. Right. Are we gonna get a good look at him? I think the familiar idea is more likely. Scary, though, either way. Okay, I think we can go ahead and examine him. It really looks like a punishment to me. I've never seen someone sitting like that before. He hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived. It looks like he's at a desk. It looks like he's writing something. Do you think perhaps he's dead? Oh no. Go poke him with that big stick over there. If he was dead, Runo, he wouldn't be sitting up, would he? Well, anyway, dead or alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's gonna talk to us. He's not dead! Are you sure about that? Do we even try talking to him? Hey, Mr. Apprentice! Okay. I think that's it. So let us... I guess... I presented the armband, I didn't present this yet. Lord Van Zieks, about the article in this paper. Ah yes, it seems there was a reporter nearby when that little skirmish took place. I had no idea I'd been photographed. It was careless of me. It looks as though it was taken after the people who attacked you ran away, though. Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them. But there's someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. That dude over there. And I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it? Does he have a name? As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice. What exactly does he do? Perhaps you could tell us a little more about him? Whatever. Okay. Actually, I kind of want to know about that. Let's start with that. Or should I... Yeah, let's start with that. Why not? He's in my tutelage to become a prosecutor. So you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose. Can we talk to him? Ah, like you are to Hurley then, Runo. I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective. I'm a lawyer, after all. And he's an idiot. He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack. Ah. It looks like he's wearing some kind of mask. On Lord Strongheart's orders. Nobody knows the man's face, or indeed his identity. But why would you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual? Yeah, that sounds a bit odd. Lord Strongheart's orders again. He's not one for meaningless follies. There will be a good reason for his actions. Very suspicious, though. I hope you're right. Oh! Hey there! Who could you be? Whenever somebody's in a mask, my immediate instinct is that it's somebody we know or will meet maybe later without the mask. Ah! Is he gonna talk? The task is complete. Good. In that case, you can collate all the briefs. My boxes, I mean. So, sup? Nice to meet you? Okay, bye. Nice meeting you. What a nice man. Back to work again. That was really strange, though. I've never met the man before. I didn't even know he existed, and yet... Somehow it didn't feel like our first encounter. Yep, he's gotta be somebody we know. Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside this office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it. Oh, I see. Okay, that's very fishy, Strongheart. You can't talk. You don't want anyone to see his face. Why are you so interested in my apprentice anyway? Oh, no. I mean, sorry. I didn't mean to. The way he stood there so casually. Yet with that flawless posture. It's the guy in the picture. It's gotta be. It's Xehanort. It couldn't be. I don't know. So, like, just a random off-the-cuff guess. It's not even so much like an actual guess. I don't know. Could it be Sholmes? Like, all I know is because Sholmes had been acting very weird lately, and we know that we've had conversations that have implied that that he has a connection to Zieks. So maybe he's undercover or something. I don't know. Last night's attack. I can't think of anybody else really. Kazuma's alive. I don't know. Could you imagine? So I guess we'll just do these in order. Talk about last night's attack. Lord Strongheart said that the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack. True. Carried out by henchmen of Odi Asman's criminal organization. The investigation meant their arrests were imminent. Presumably some hoped to kill me before that happened. Odi Asman. I don't know much about Asman. I'm more of a tit man myself. What do you think of that, my Nipponese friend? You get it? Because I like tits, you see. Anyway, what was the question? He's always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers. A global investor. I kept saying investigator in the last video. The things you see when you edit. A global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhand means via his criminal activities. And he used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Very sketchy. Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper. But the man got his comeuppance in the end. That he did. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances. It was the most unusual cause of death. I know about that. It was super high voltage, instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. Wait, just like blow up? Mr. Asman died when the demonstration on the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion. Correct. Good job. Here's a sticker. And you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you? Well, no. That does seem a little far-fetched. Yeah, I was trying to imagine how this happened. I thought maybe he was carrying out some kind of vigilante justice. Like, I mean, like he could have maybe tampered with, if it was him. I really don't think the Reaper is Lord Van Zieks at this point. Maybe it's his apprentice. But, back when we were kind of theorizing how he could have done it, I was thinking it could have been like he's going out, like I said, and taking on the role of vigilante and just taking out people he thinks are actually guilty. Like the law failed me, so I'm going to take it into my own hands, type of thing. If this man really is the fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent of this particular death, at least. I mean, like I said, it seems like it, but like I said, it could have been the experiment could have been tampered with. It's strange how this worked out, isn't it, Runo? I mean, why with you taking on the Professor's defense for the trial tomorrow? What? You're going to be defending him? Oh yes, that's right. Though I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest. Albert Harebrain. Very accurately named, I must say. That's right. Do you know him by any chance? Of course. Ah, okay. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together. You're... What? Oh, okay. The plot thickens. You're contemporary. I'd understood that Professor Harebrain was from Germany, though. Harebrain from a respectable British family. I'll have to think about what voice I want to give him. He didn't sound German when he was talking at the beginning. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research, that's all. Okay, so I guess he wouldn't sound, German if he moved to Germany. So you were students together? I was in the Faculty of Law, of course, and he in Science, so our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along. That doesn't seem like a likely pairing, though I've not met him since my university days. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you, of all people, representing him. Ugh. Only if I make it out of this office alive. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems. Yes, I know. Because the prosecution will be handled by me. Okay, so you and me once again, Van Zieks. By you? But you made it sound as if you and the professor had been friends. But it's his job. We are friends, it's true. Then why would you do this? Good question. I guess he could have backed out. If the Reaper is the prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed. We'll see about that. What's Lord Van Zieks thinking? I don't know. Let's talk about the Reaper's identity. What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean I'm a crowned prosecutor no more like any other? Mortal like any other. I'm no demigod. But they've all died, haven't they? The people you prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in a conviction or an acquittal. Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. They deserve to die. People who without question deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them. See, he's talking like a vigilante, but again, I feel like there's gonna be some bigger twists. But that's not true of Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all. That's debatable. Nor is Ginny. In fact, she's ever hard-working now. We haven't seen Ginny. I miss her. Or Gina. I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn. But the point is this. If any of those vile wretches that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind. It's not my work. Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way. Otherwise, that would be problematic if he still kept you on as a prosecutor. But you were attacked by those ruffians because they believe it's true. So the way to help Van Zieks is to find out the true identity of the Reaper. The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper, the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially. Oh. I guess it makes sense that it would. It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives. Do you mean to say... I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly, and with honor. Okay, so that's why. That's why he's not necessarily fighting it, or like trying to prove his innocence, because he figures if that causes crime to go down, if they're afraid of him, then it's worth it. But it's putting you in danger. You could be killed. That's a price I'm willing to pay. If that is my fate, let God decide. Lord Van Zieks. Okay. I love that we're learning more about him, though. Oh, yes. There's something I've been meaning to ask you. Oh, what's that? That Nipponese man, is he faring well? Natsume? Sorry? The one arrested twice in section 6 months ago? With the stoop and the mustache, and the jitters. Ah, Mr. Natsume, you mean? He's aight. I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identified him from that list, Runo. Yeah. He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day. I see. Okay. Cool. I like that they're still keeping in touch. Well, I think we can end our discussion there, don't you? There's little time left before tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend it investigating the case. Yes. Thank you for the advice. And for the conversation. Bestie, don't call me that. I can't believe he's asking after Suzuki-san. After a Nipponese? Van Zieks' heart grew 3 sizes that day. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried. I think he genuinely cared. I don't think he was asking because like, how's he doing? Has he suffered a heart attack recently? Is he dead? I never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? That's a turn up for the books. A mad scientist? I mean Professor Harebrain. Yes, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Lord Van Zieks, I think. You can leave at once. Okay, I believe we are done here. There's nothing to examine. Right? I can't examine you anymore. Okay. In that case, the only place left to go is the prison. I still don't know. I'll have to figure out what voice I want to give him on the fly. I don't even know how to do a German accent, so... Like I said, he doesn't sound German. He's kind of had like an eccentric voice. Kind of loud. 22nd of October. Local prison, cell 11. And there he is, hunched over, reading a little booklet. The warden said cell 11. That's this one. Oh, there's someone curled up in a bowl in the back corner, look! What's his name again? Professor Albert Harebrain, wasn't it? Excuse me, Professor Harebrain. Ah! Who are you? I'm Miyanosuke Naruhodo. I'm a defense lawyer. A lawyer? Oh boy. Like I said, he's very eccentric, so I don't know if I should just be like kind of... Ah! Was it something I said? A lawyer, you say? What? Would you be here about the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis? Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't... Yesterday's demonstration! That magnificent demonstration was... It was an out-and-out success by anyone's calculations. But despite that, no one listens. No lawyer believes in the science when it's explained they all leave at high velocity. Okay, buddy. Woe is me. Now, it's probably not a good time to mention that your zeal made my concentration leave for a while, too. Oh, he has a name tag? What does that say? Does that say hairbrain? I can't see. Anyway, I can't examine anything, okay. But I can show you my armband. Ah, fascinating, yes! In Japan, where I come from, it's the symbol of a defense lawyer. Wearing it is very bracing, I find. Get it because it's an arm brace? Shut up! Okay. Your words make some sense to me, but they are entirely illogical. What do you mean? Well, for example, I find this white laboratory coat that I wear for my work very bracing too. However, in my case, there is a perfectly logical reason for that feeling. Oh, really? What is it? I purchased the wrong size by mistake. This one is too small for me. Ah, that would explain it. The sleeves especially are extremely bracing. I can barely move my wrists. It is cutting off circulation. That's what you call logical, is it? Of course, it's entirely logical. That's science, Mr. Naruhodo. Okay, good to know. What about this? How could this have happened? You must feel awful. As well as a man losing his life, the Crystal Tower is greatly damaged too. Don't remind me. I know it happened. I was there. It must have been that. That? The day before the demonstration, I had my usual meal of frankfurters at the hotel restaurant. When I paid the bill, they gave me 3 shillings, too much and change. But instead of saying anything, I just slipped the coins into my pocket. They're still there now. You thief. It's divine retribution for my wrongdoing. That's what this is. For a scientist, he has some very illogical anecdotes. Long and illogical. What a character. Okay, let's talk about more important things. I guess we'll just go down in order. Talk about yesterday's demonstration, please. You mentioned the demonstration yesterday. The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he? Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense, the experiment was a failure. But at the same time, it was a great success. You've lost me. My murder attempt worked. I mean, what? I saw it with my own eyes, right there in front of me. Mr. Asman was spontaneously disassembled. That's because he was in pieces on the floor, but okay. I actually wonder in what state the body was. That'd be funny if they just didn't find the body. Like, maybe it actually worked. It teleported him, teleported him to the moon, in which case he would be dead. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculations had predicted. At that point, he should have been beamed to the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded and Mr. Asman in fact perished. Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Asman was an accident, correct? But the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder. Yes, that about sums it up. I was responsible for a man's death. That is the immutable truth here. And for that I wish to be punished. At once. But... Murder? Never in a million years. It was an accident. Simply an accident. I see. Tried not to believe this guy. Hurley and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or a murder. How exactly? Well, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody. Okay. On what grounds? Oh yes, it's newly established here in Britain. The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. That one passed me by. Try saying that 5 times fast. But if the case is treated as murder, then they'll say that my machine was the murder weapon, and they'll be able to pour over it as much as they like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected from that at all costs. That's why it's imperative that the whole incident is shown to have been an accident in tomorrow's trial. Ah, I see now. Okay, I thought they were going to destroy it, but I mean, there are more important things to worry about, I'm afraid, than them copying your idea. Okay, let's talk about the experiment itself. So, in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition Showground yesterday. Yes! Or rather, no, the devil is in the details. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion. Sounds the same to me. Basically. You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating! Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible using a sufficiently high voltage to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see? That's my amazing hypothesis. Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science. I'm just a lowly lawyer. Oh, but dare to imagine it! Dare to dream of such incredible technology! Just think, one moment I could be here in the cell, and the next, I could be at the Great Exhibition again! Well, yes, that would be incredible, and illegal. You'd be, running from the law. And the next, in the mere blink of an eye, I could be at a great partisan theater, say? The possibilities are endless. The whole of our vast planet would be within reach! So no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days? Sounds good to me. I don't really see it like that. What do you mean, Iris? Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? I think it would feel like it had shrunk. My word, that's exactly right. What are the implications? What does this mean? Let me write this in my journal. Oops, that's got Professor Bunny Brain really worried by the look of it. Can that be his nickname? Can we just call him that from now on? Oh, I get it. Hair Brain? Bunny Brain sounds, rolls off the tongue. Clearly this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. The point is my calculations are flawless. The science works. You should always trust the science. But without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. And that's always the fly in the ointment. Because practical demonstration costs a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have. That's exactly it, yes. Hurley's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science. Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. Yeah, that's right. Sholmes was on top of this stuff months ago. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Asman. The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? Okay, I guess I'll continue with that line of questioning. The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Odie Asman, wasn't it? Yes, but I'm more of a tip man myself. Oh, not this again. Not this again. What exactly was your relationship with the man? He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I think my lucky stars. I see. So you hadn't really known each other until then. Money for scientific research? I'm so envious. As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel. Oh, really? An archangel even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the Great Exhibition. And if that went well, I could expect additional financial support of my research from the British government. Mr. Asman provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications. But then, your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion. Yeah, sad face. As you can see, I owe everything to Mr. Asman. I would never, ever have thought of taking the man's life. Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. Yeah, so far we don't have any motive as to why. In fact, quite the opposite. But I'm sure at tomorrow's trial, Van Zieks will come up with some reason why he would have done it. The Reaper's varsity years. I understand Lord Van Zieks is a friend of yours from your university days. Yes, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science. What was he like back then? A good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, an all-around nice fellow, really. Are you sure we're talking about the same Van Zieks? Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about Van Zieks. You know, the prosecutor? I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor, Barak Van Zieks. What was he like when he was at university? Talk about a leading question, Runo. That's my job. That's what I do. As I said, an unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. So something happened to change him. After all, he is the little darling of the Van Zieks family, with all its great aristocratic origins. I didn't realize he had quite such a noble blood. Little darling? That's not what I would use to describe him. He was quite a cutie pie. It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learnt what he had become. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less. Yes, that's right. I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation. Really? What sort of event? Ooh, give me the deets. Tom tells me he doesn't know. Ah! I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh. Yes, of course. Ooh. The plot thickens. If he's heard all about the Reaper. I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zieks will be the prosecutor in court tomorrow. We'll just lie about it. So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying. You had no intent to harm the victim, who is in fact the sole investor in your work. Is that correct? As correct as 2 squared is 4. I swear it. I'll take your word on that. No, I'm kidding. I'm not that dumb. I know what that means. Yes, it's true that the man perished in a machine of my invention. So I know that I'm far from blameless in all this, but still. I would never use my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life. Not in a centillion years. I'm a man of science. That's all I know. You have to believe me, please. I got you back, Jack. Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? This new music? I don't think I recognize this theme. Science is the pursuit of truth, you know? I've always believed that, all my life. You best not be lying to me, boy. I'm afraid I don't know much about science, or your theories. But I believe in you. Yes, I believe you, and I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of the law, it's all I know. You have to believe me, please! Ryunosuke, what are you doing? He's like, are you mocking me? When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Thank you for that, Professor. And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court. Yay, he is accepted. Alright, Runo. It's time. Time to visit the Great Exhibition. Sorry? Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it? Yes, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate at last. Ooh. Okay. It makes sense. Experimentation stage. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, we definitely have time to start the investigation. 22nd of October. The Great Exhibition. Grounds. Foot of the Crystal Tower. That's a mouthful. Ugh. The showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. We've been walking around in dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I felt myself swooning 3 times. I hear crowds and crowds of people talking, but there's no one in sight. Is it all in my head? Snap out of it, Runo. There are a lot of people, aren't there? I've almost been trodden on 3 times too. Well, you are tiny. Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. We finally made it through the throngs, though, by the look of it. Here we are, underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. Cool venue. Oh, what's going on up there? Oh, there's a giant hole in the clock. There's some investigators up there. Say what? I don't know who's talking. What's that? I can hear voices from up on the stage. It sounds like an argument. Let's eavesdrop, shall we? Hey, look who it is! I'm not talking about you, Gregson. I don't care. No, I'm kidding. We've seen plenty of you. Miss Gina! Right, I've had it with you this time. I'm warning you, I'll arrest you in a minute. Oh yeah? Go on then, Spectre. Give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence and you know it. Wait, I know those voices. You got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady. But a night in the cells will teach you some manners. Just try it, I dare ya. If you want that bag of chips rammed down your throat. Oh, I miss Gina. I was hoping she'd appear. Yoo-hoo! Gregsy! What are you doing up there? What? None of your business. Hello, sunshine. Just eating some fish and chips. Nothing to see here. Ah! Ah! What are you doing here? It's you! Here! You're here! Here you are! Here! Your ladyship! How are you, your ladyship? I do hope you're well, your ladyship. Okay, you can shut up. Does that make her 3 times a lady? I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride in a balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue. Oh, that sucks. Unbelievable. I'll go have a word for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying as high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you. Tobias Gregson, an inspector at Scotland Yard. Haven't we seen him in this game? Why are we getting an introduction? Until recently, he was suspended from duty, but it would appear he's back in action now. I mean, I know there's a flashback, but still. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris. Ah, that's right. But there are limits, surely. Or there should be. Watch it, sunshine! I can read your thoughts. Sorry. What gives then? Don't tell me you're on this case. Yes, I'm acting for the defense. So we're here to investigate. Dear me, that's the situation, is it? Is it really that troubling? A measly 5 bob? Is that all you got? There she is. You're a lawyer, ain't ya? You could stand to carry a bit more copper in your pockets, Mr. Narra-Odo. Gina, I miss you. What? Hey, that's my last bit of spending money, that is. Mine now. You can have it back, but I'll have to charge you for all the bother. 3 bob. And a Steve. Haha. This is Gina Lestrade, a pickpocket or diver born and bred in the East End of London. In the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago, this is the young girl I was defending in court. That's right. What's your problem, Odo? Diver? Pickpocket? What's with all the name calling? You want a bag of chips ran down your throat and all, do ya? Hey, don't you touch my fish and chips! You nasty woman! I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assumed you'd been up to your usual tricks here at the showground. That's not the point. That ain't no way to talk to a lady, Odo. Half a year's gone, long time. People can change. I'm an apprentice now, learning to be a Scotland Yard detective. Ah, look at you. So you'll have to call me what everyone else does. It's Inspector Lestrade now. I like it. I like it. Oh, that's so funny. Going from a criminal, quote-unquote criminal, to an inspector. Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely. The inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one called to that. For what it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us. Why is that? What's that supposed to mean? Right, well, I'll be back up top. You hold the fort down here, alright? Right, sir. This is awkward. This raises a lot of questions. Sweet! Gina? I miss you. Take a look at my armband. This armband is proof, in Japan at least, that I'm a defense lawyer. And this badge is proof that I'm a detective. Look at us! Partners in crime. Even though we're not really. So you're all gonna have to start calling me Inspector Lestrade. Whatever you say, Inspector. In that case, you'll have to start calling me, well, anything but Odo. I could call you Defender Nara Odo if you like, but you don't really trip off the tongue. No. It doesn't have a great ring to it, does it? Fine, Odo it is. What about this thing? Gina, would you take a look at... Oh, where did it go? Hee, looking for this, Odo? When did she do that? I wonder if you got anything else to show me, eh? What do you reckon? Give that back first, please. Once a thief, always a thief. Okay. But as usual, before I talk, let us examine things. Oh look, what's this? A red piece of cloth? It's not like any fabric I've ever seen before. It's very thick and stiff. Heh, that's what she said. Sorry. What does that mean, Mr. Naruhodo? Nothing. It's canvas, I think, with some sort of rubber backing. And the edges appear to be a bit charred as well. Maybe that means it has something to do with the explosion. Let's make a note of it while Ginny's mid-yawn. Okay. Piece of green cloth. A torn piece of canvas-like material backed with rubber that was found under the experimentation stage at the exhibition grounds. There were scorch marks at the edges. Can I examine it? It looks like layers of thick canvas with a thick rubber lining of sorts. I've never seen anything like it before. But applying Mr. Sholmes' methods, you might deduce it was part of a raincoat worn by someone who really didn't want to get wet. And the charring must have occurred when the person was struck by lightning. Or maybe not. Do we know what the apprentice guy's cloak was made out of? I mean, I don't think it was this color though, it wasn't green. Okay, let us continue. There's the Crystal Tower itself. The Crystal Tower. It's certainly an apt name. It was built to be the focal point of the exhibition, and it definitely is, being so tall and with all that glass. I can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan. Erect. Mr. Naruhodo, are you 5? There are lots of exhibits inside the tower as well, apparently. Of course, there's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery, a zoo, and a museum. I want to go. But I heard you have to queue for 3 hours just to get through the doors. How ridiculous. Well, at the moment, the shattered glass from the failed experiment may well be the biggest draw. And thanks to that accident, the whole tower is shut. Suddenly, it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Shower. Ha! Very punny. Apparently, everyone's taken to the skies now to look down in the disaster area from above instead. Oh, that's why the balloon line is so long? But there's a 3-hour queue to go up in the balloon now. Londoners must be very patient people. Yeah, I would not wait 3 hours for that. There aren't many things I can think of that I'd wait 3 hours for. What is that? A crossbow? What the heck is that? Ah, it looks as though somebody dropped something behind the tree just here. Dropped? Or a head? Is that a crossbow? I can't tell. It looks some kind of device, gadget. What is this? Some part of the machine that exploded? Maybe. It could have fallen from the platform above in the blast, perhaps. What's going on here? Oh, nothing. I think I'll hang on to this just in case. I know you're new, Gina, but you're not very good at your job. Why do you say that? Mysterious contraption, a very curious device found behind a tree under the experimentation stage at the exhibition ground. Almost as if it had been hidden there deliberately. Yep, we took it. Oh, we got all sorts of rubble here. And scorch marks. Before we look at that, though, see if I can deduce anything from this. It's got a crank. It definitely looks like it could be a crossbow. Like you pull the crank and like this goes. I don't know. Huh. Usually there's something you can examine, but it does not appear to be the case. Okay, well. All in due time, we'll figure out what that is. For some reason, the ground is damaged in this spot. Look. Almost as if there was a fire here or something. Yes, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers too. Well, I suppose there was a big explosion just above here. People probably wouldn't bat an eyelid at a small fire like this would have been. I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back, Bruno. We're not like you Japanese lot. Okay, anything else? Okay, the exhibition. These stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment was being conducted. Oh, wait. I don't know if I want to go there yet. Okay. 22nd of October, the Great Exhibition Grounds Experimentation Stage. So that's it, is it? The machine that blew up? Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion, and I've seen my fair share. You've seen things like this before, you mean? Of course, Hurley's always doing experiments that end in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry. Ah, that might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting up the stairs. It all makes sense now. One time he made something that exploded with such force it took the roof off the building. I wish you'd been there to see it, Bruno. It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof. Well, anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate. Ah, there's Gregson. Ah, look, Inspector Gregson is over there. He seems to be deep in thought about something, whilst eyeing up the machine carefully. Really? He just looks confused to me. That could be. Now, am I able to go back? Okay, wait, I'm on the experimentation stage. Can I not? Oh, that's a bummer. I wasn't done looking. I didn't even talk to Gina yet. Oh, wait, is there something I can examine, like, to bring me back? Oh well, I might have screwed myself over. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but... Yeah, because I can't... This isn't Danganronpa, I can't circle out I can't press circle to, like, just back out of the area. And yeah, this is the experimentation stage here. See, the picture even shows the downstairs. Okay, well, hopefully it lets us back down eventually. I guess let's examine things. Not sure what to examine first. It ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it? Magnificently? And mercilessly. So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air? Yes, beamed. Not blasted. That's the point. Yes, that part's crucial, really. Something like that even possible, though, Iris? Oh, Bruno, I'm just a child. How should I know? You're a pretty smart child. A child when it suits you, you mean? From what I can tell, I think if you were to pull this lever here... Stop! Don't touch that! Ahaha, that was practically instantaneous kinesis the way you flew over just now, Gregsy. Please, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch anything up here. So sorry. You can have some of my latest special blend to make up for it. Ooh. Glug 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 glug. Ah, how lovely. Ah, wonderful. This stuff really is wonderful. It's just like old times, this is. Okay, glad we got your attention. We're representing Professor Hairbrain in court tomorrow, Inspector. So we should be allowed to examine the scene. Ha! Listen, Sunshine, even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. If that blasted special dispensation for scientific equipment act to blame, it's driving me potty. Harry potty. Oh yes, that special dispensation. The professor mentioned that too. More red tape for all we need? I don't know what the government thinks it's playing at sometimes. But we're allowed to just look, aren't we? Yeah. Surely that's alright, isn't it, Gregsy? How can I say no to you? Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship. But please don't go get your dainty hand dirty, will you? Oh, how nice. What a nice man. Don't worry, we wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Runo? She really knows how to get what she wants. Okay, I guess we can freely explore. I'm gonna try something. Can I go somewhere else? Okay, I'm gonna try doing this. Oh, Jesus! Look at that pose! He's just like, hello there. Lord Van Zieks? I was meditating. What do you want? I think he's ignoring you, Runo. The prosecution and defense should avoid speaking outside of the courtroom, as a rule. So if anyone is being rude here, it's most certainly the man in black there standing before us. Oh, I see. Well, thank you for setting the record straight. Did you see that? He spoke to me, Runo. Yeah, lovely. So, Lord Van Zieks, have you managed to visit the Great Exhibition yet? Guess not. He's definitely ignoring you. Right. No niceties either, then. Okay, now I want to see if I go back. Okay, good. I wasn't done examining this area yet, so... Is there anything up here to examine? Like this hole? And I want to talk to Gina as well. That's where the cove ended up after its instant kinesis, or whatever they called it. Dead, of course. And yet they're calling the experiment a success? What's the wooden scaffold there for? So did he actually get blasted through the clock? The coppers, our lads, set that up after the incident happened. To get the body down, I think. Dunno, really. Didn't you help to erect the scaffold then? Nah, look out duty's more my thing. Wandering around the exhibition on keeping a lookout for the fun stuff. Mind Gregson doesn't hear you saying that, or he'll give you the boot. This boot, to be exact. It's incredible though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? Anything else up here? That might be the only thing really up there to examine. And then I guess... Okay, we don't want to click on that. Okay, let's talk to Gina. About stuff. Okay, let's just talk about Gina, because I want to know what she's been up to. How she's been. How you been, Gina? It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina, in connection with the case I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. Oh, that's right. When did we actually first meet her? It was during the, It was during that third case, right? With, the carriage case, because she was hiding in there. At the time, she was lying in the East End with a group of... I read that already. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder. Those were the days, weren't they, Gina? I had a lot of time to think in prison. I realized I couldn't go on like I was. The diving weren't working out. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Ginny. Well done. So, you went from being a pickpocket to a detective? How does that work? You got it. Good, innit? Inspector Lestrade. Sound like something out of a book, eh? Talk about a sea change. And then there's Iris's old man to think about. Iris's father, you mean... That would be... Wilson. Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police forces around the world to pull out all the stops looking for him. Just a small promise then. Nothing serious or anything. Oh, Ginny, you're so sweet. So if I remember correctly, we haven't said anything because we know, or at least I think we made the connection that Wilson was Iris's father, and we know that he's dead, but I guess we never told her, if I remember correctly. So anyway, that's how come I had to go with the test for Scotland Yard. Only trouble is, I didn't read so well, do I? Or speak so well. Just a small problem, nothing serious. And that's when Hurley approached Gregsy and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Jenny and made her a sort of apprentice. A lot of apprenticeships going on here. That was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson, and brave. Well, you know Hurley. He enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants. The great detective likes digging for dirt, in other words. Sounds about right. So the long and short of it is, you've got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade. Right then, Inspector. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there? Oh, what, Runo, what? Well, 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper. That she was. A trial in which she was found not guilty, and yet here she still is. That's right, she has not kicked the bucket. Yet. Come on, you're not stalling about that, are ya? The Legend of the Reaper, or whatever it's called. Caw, you don't have to worry, Odo. If I didn't half worry, there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of you left. It's like I told you before, innit? The Reaper's kinda like I'm upstairs, so he knows what I'm like on the inside. That I ain't really done nothing wrong. Sure, that's how it works. Nothing wrong might be stretching a point. What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he? Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought. Exactly. So I ain't worried, I'm totally fine. Good, I hope so. I don't want to find out you died later on in the game. That would suck. Yeah, yesterday's incident. Core, it was out of this world, it was. The brainy bloke pulled a bunch of levers on his machine, and all of a sudden it started billowing smoke. Then it just went pop. I ain't seen a better experiment there yet. Sorry? You mean you saw it, Ginny? With your own eyes? Yeah, of course. The boss is in charge, ain't he? Of keeping everything running smooth, I mean. The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. That's going to take some getting used to. So all I have to say is that I'm on duty, and I can do whatever I want to. Get this, I was up in one of them flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above. Ooh, that sounds cool. No, you're so lucky, Jenny. I'm so jelly. Maybe I should join Scotland Yard too. We can be a team. Yeah, do it. Do it! You know how to put the boss in his place already, right, Iris? You'd have no trouble at all. That's very true. Hey, Gregsy, can I be inspector? Oh, how could I say no to you? Then it's settled. When do I start? No, you can't join Scotland Yard, Iris. We'll see. Anyway, what I don't understand is this. If the machine exploded so spectacularly, how can Professor Bunnybrain still be claiming that his experiment was a success? Oh, right. Well, it was a success in a way. It was? How can it have been? Like I said, I have a feeling that it might have shot him, like, that hole in the clock tower. Maybe it, like, shot him through there. So it technically teleported him, but, you know, through the clock tower, and that's how he died. I don't know. We'll find out. Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one could call the experiment a success. Which, like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke in that whopping great bang. But where do you think they found the victim's body, eh? In the crystal tower over there. What? In the tower? Yep. You can see for yourself, can't you? Up there above the scaffold. Oh. Well, the glass is broken, you mean? Interesting. Now, I wonder if it actually, like, quote-unquote teleported him the way you would, you know, expect it to work. Like, you know, actually, like, you know, breaks him down into particles and then he reappears over there. Or if maybe it flung him over there, like as if he was slingshotted across through the tower. Yeah, the cage what the victim got in to start with. Really did get beamed through the air, whatever, and landed all the way over there. So, see, it did kind of work, didn't it? What? I don't believe it. I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science and all that. Or I tell you what. You can have this. It's a plan of the experiment they drew up at the yard. Are you sure? Sure, why not? Yeah, go on. I had 3 bob off ya, so fair's fair. Yes, I didn't actually give that to you, did I? But I'll take what I can get. Experiment skits. A diagram showing the relative position of the crystal tower and Professor Hairbrain's machine that exploded. Thank you, Ginny. Or Gina. Let's finish talking to her and then I'll look at that. Don't let me forget. Somehow remind me through the video before I finish recording to not forget. Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange. For what it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us. Yeah, because of that rule. Yes, naughty old Gregsy ran off after that without explaining himself. Oh, right, that. The boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday. Well, it's not fair. We're representing the defendant. Jerk. In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigations? No, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate neither. Yeah, that's what it sounded like. Why? What did the boss call them again? The forensic investigation team, I think? Anyway, apart from that lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, innit? So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate? Yes, I've never heard something like that before. You're very odd. I thought I could have a gander on that quiet though, but the boss caught me at it. You probably heard him give me an earful about it from down there, didn't ya? Okay, that's what they were arguing about. It's not bleeding fair. I think you were giving her as much of an earful back as I remember it. Insubordination. But you probably deserved it. Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all them chips what make them so stubborn. Fish and chips, actually. You see something, Numoto? Go on, see if you can get through to him. He's up on the platform above us, is he? Where the machine that exploded is. We can try, can't we, Runo? Gregsy will listen to us. Oh, we're one step ahead of you. We already did talk to him. And he was happy to oblige. Okay, I guess that's it. I did want to look at this. Okay, so there's the machine, there's the platform. But where's the hole? I don't know where the hole is though. Cause you see the tower there, but I don't know exactly where the hole is. Is it way up there? Interesting. Okay. I guess now we can head back up to the... Okay, yes, I know. So if we're talking to Mr. Gregsy, let's... He said we can examine things. Considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Hairbrain was lucky to escape unscathed, I'd say. We should have a good look around the machine whilst we can, I think. Touch anything, I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, you hear? I won't touch a thing, I promise. So please, spare a thought for your digestion. Never! Anyway, do you really think this machine could actually disassemble people like the professor claims? He asked, looking totally incredulous. Give it a rest, sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all this bleeding scrap metal, maybe we could answer that question. But we can't, can we? I guess not. Because of the annoying rules, you mean? Exactly. The annoying, obstructive, flaming rules. Oh. Look at the base of the machine there. Oh yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh. It's a screwdriver, I think. Oh, isn't it a lovely one? The handle is in the shape of a capital letter A. It is? Oh yes, you're right. Oh yeah, look at that. What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything, I said. Touch anything, I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, I said. Is that a threat? Yes, yes, I understand, sorry. I only touched it a teeny weeny bit. But Gregsy, I'm very curious about the screwdriver. really very, very curious. Like, so very curious. I'm so curious I might even write you into my next book. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Well, how can I say no to you? Of course, your ladyship. You're so clever, your ladyship. Fancy spotting something like this. You got him wrapped around your little finger, Iris. But I'm afraid I can't let you have it. Ah, worth a try. But Runa found it first. I assure you, I'll investigate it thoroughly. Tear it hot! He's gone off with it. Humph, that was very mean, I'm afraid. Inspector Gregson is going to make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in next month's installment now. Vengeance. Poor Gregsy. Oh, so we can't even talk to him now? We lost our chance? Oh, but at least he's gone. There were all sorts of strange buildings here in Great Britain exhibition grounds, aren't there? I seem to remember something similar being exhibited in Japan one time. Oh, in your country, Runo. I do wish to go and see it. I'd present a particularly steely samurai with the present of one of Hurley's stories I'd written especially. Ah, the Steel Samurai. Good times. I didn't know he existed yet. And see if I couldn't get Hurley into a jam against some, Boratitsu Master Ninjas. You might not find as many of those sorts of people around as you think. Oh, well that's dull. Never, I changed my mind. Oh, but I do know a prosecutor with a Sean Mard top knot I can introduce you to. Are you talking about me? A Sean Mard, really? You think I could have my picture taken with him, do you? Assuming he recovered from the trim Cosmo gave him a year ago? Yes. And Suzuto, caused him to cut it off again. Good times. Okay, anything else? Oh, we got the balloons in the background. So those are people carrying balloons dangling silently in the skies over London? I always thought the day would come when humans would discover how to fly. But I never imagined it would be involved them being suspended from colorful floating Tamari handballs. I'm sure it must feel amazing being up there among the clouds. Let's take a ride together, Runo, please. If I'm being perfectly honest, I would like to try it. But without a cast iron guarantee that the thing won't plummet to the ground. I'm too scared. Oh well, in that case, I should tell you what Hurley said. Do tell me. It's physically impossible for a flying balloon to plummet to the ground, as long as it doesn't explode. Yeah, we've had enough explosions. Yes, call me crazy, but I think that exploding part might play on my mind a little. Just saying. Now let's take a look at the megaphone, giant megaphone here. That amazing horn-shaped device is pointing towards the Crystal Tower. I suppose once people are disassembled by the machine, they're shot out of that thing to wherever they're going. I don't think it was supposed to shoot anything, Runo. It was set up to beam people to the Crystal Tower, where they'd be reconstructed in their original form. Well, I don't like the look of it. I don't get the science mumbo-jumbo. If it was as amazing as it looks, the accident wouldn't have happened in the first place, of course. I suppose that's true, yes. But nothing ever goes according to plan, does it? Okay. I think that's it up here. And there's nothing that I see down here to examine. Oh. Except the giant Ferris wheel. What is that gigantic thing over there? It looks like an enormous water wheel. Oh, that's a Ferris wheel. There'll be people riding inside those little cabins, you see? Get out of here. Why? Well, they rotate nice and slowly, so it's a wonderful way to see the surrounding scenery. Wait, it's turning? But it looks completely still. Yes, that's because it's turning so slowly. One complete revolution takes about half an hour. Oh gosh. If you were mad enough to go in one, it would be more fun to whiz around fast, don't you think? Yeah! I feel as though you might have just invented a new sort of ride there, Runo. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. Okay, should we get out of here? Oh, he is still here. That's right, I was in investigation mode. Silly me. I don't know if I should present any of this stuff to him. We can try. As a detective, what do you think? What do you make of this? Personally speaking, 9 times out of 10 I find clues turn out to be red herrings. So there's every chance that's totally irrelevant. That's actually a fairly persuasive argument. I feel you probably don't have anything to say about most of this stuff. Let us continue talking. Using high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body, and then beam him across to the Crystal Tower. It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. True, it was by far the most unusual of the experiments planned for the exhibition, mind. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean? The government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the odd spot of public safety infringements. That's a bit troubling. If they can be the first to develop some new technology, it makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see? Yes, I suppose that's true in a way. So the powers that are placing a heavy emphasis on scientific rights at the moment. What sort of rights? Science has rights now? They're making it so that many theories the brains have remain their legal property, as it were. Right through developing it into a practical idea and going into production. Which is the infuriating reason of coppers aren't allowed to touch this crime scene. Because the new, highfalutin special dispensation for scientific equipment act forbids it. Gosh, that's a mouthful. Ah, I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are from some brand new department at the yard. So scientific investigators. The forensic investigation team is called. We've been relegated to keeping guard. The forensic investigation team. Any old fool can see that this heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. But just because it says scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flaming thing with it. Poor Gregsy. He's very head up, isn't he? Head up. Okay, special dispensation. Remind me again, what's this new legal act that means we're not allowed to touch the scene here? Are you having me at it's Sunshine? It's the special dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. Yes. I think Hurley mentioned that recently. With a real twinkle in his eye, as I remember. I'm sure he did, your ladyship. I'm sure he did. Plus, especially for this great exhibition it was. All scientists have to do is present their ideas or inventions to some suits in the civil service. And if it gets rubber stamped, it's a guarantee of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality. What does that really mean? Shut up, I was talking to Miss Iris here. Think about it. Think of all the world-changing new inventions on display every day at this exhibition. Although a good half of them are a load of cobblers, if you ask me, but forward my shammers like yourself. Thanks for that. Oh, I love how absurd some of the inventions here are. It's all so fun. It might be fun to you, but remember the Force has to be present in every single demonstration. It sucks ass. Can you imagine, eh? Hang science, that's what I say. Oh, I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job. Maybe when you're older, Iris. You shouldn't think otherwise after spending a day guarding all these shammers, bogus contraptions. But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There would be no point. Yeah, well, there is a point, sadly. Sorry? Thanks to another of our government's bright ideas. If any theory or invention is deemed to show potential, the government hands out a research grant. Ah. The scientists get funding? Exactly, and that's what they're all after. All these shammers coming from far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. And who has to keep them all safe, eh? Who has to smile politely and welcome them? Us coppers, that too. So you can see why I say it now, can't ya? Hang science, hang it! Hang it from the gallows. Oh, maybe I can see your point now. Okay, now let's talk about Bunny Brain. Apparently Professor Hairbrain lives and works in Germany now, conducting his research. That's right. Came back to Britain especially for the great exhibition, as I understand it. Probably after one of the government's research grants. Actually, we learned something else about the professor earlier today. About his time and future education. Further education. It turns out he was at university with someone we both know. Lord Van Zieks. Eh? What's that? That's news to me. But Van Zieks managed the prosecution. Then as the accused, the Professor's fate is... sealed? Because the Reaper will get him one way or another? Yeah. I feel like this is kind of a conflict of interest, but... Blimey, that man's beyond me. I don't know what goes on in that head of his. Like how he just puts the fish and chips in his pocket. I'm saving them for later. Talking of that Van Zieks, this one's paper ran the story of him being attacked. Read that? Oh yes, but Mr. Reaper is completely fine. Nothing to worry about. Yes, right. Glad to hear it. Are you though? Still the Reaper, huh? How long's that business gonna keep up? I wonder. The mystery of the Reaper. The victim of this case, the investor, Mr. Asman. He was another of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard. I'm more of a tit man, Mr. Okay, shut up! Lord Van Zieks is a top-class prosecutor. But even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't win. Yes, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. And that's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it? Maybe. Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zieks initially. We all assumed he was taking matters into his own hands if he failed to seal the deal in court. Those are my thoughts exactly. Although the man himself denies that charge. Well, we've done a very thorough investigation. And the conclusion we reached is that Lord Van Zieks is in no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. Oh. There's no question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on it, I would. But if that's true, then how do you explain it? All those defendants couldn't just have coincidentally died if nobody killed them. I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? That's the whole point of the Reaper. Professor Harebrain mentioned something else. He said that at university, Lord Van Zieks was a totally different person. Easygoing and kind. What the hell? You what? He said that it was after they both graduated that something happened to change the man. Do you have any idea what it was? No clue. Are you sure about that? Really? Look, I got my hand full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself elsewhere, eh? Fine. Right. Are you done here, Mr. Naruto? Sorry? Isn't it about time you were leaving? Or rather, it is about time you were leaving. Get out. That lot are here now. What, the scientists? That lot? The forensic investigation team. They'll be giving me the heave-ho in a minute too. Oh dear, poor Gregsy. Here, have another cup of my special blend to cheer you up. Ah, that's the stuff. Glug, 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 glug. I love Iris's music. It's one of my favorite themes. Ah, that hit the spot. Yep, hits it every time. Right in the dick. Well, at least I've seen the scene with my own eyes. It looks like this is as far as we're going to get with our investigation here, at least. I've been thinking. Hurley might know something, mightn't he? About what? About Mr. Reaper. About what happened to Lord Van Zieks, you mean? Because it sounds like something very significant occurred after he graduated from university. Something that completely changed his life. Maybe, but I have no idea where to find Mr. Sholmes at the moment. He's in the middle of some big case, isn't he? That he is. Here, this is what you need. What's this? Some kind of entrance ticket? Madame Tussbells? Is this supposed to mean something to me? You don't know it? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. We could go now if you like. No, we don't have time to be visiting attractions today, Iris. We have a big trial tomorrow. But that's where Hurley is. What? At this popular London attraction? Yes. How is it that you know where he is? Hurley told me, but he told me to keep it a secret from you, Runo. Madame Tussbells. I don't see how it can be related to the case we're investigating here, but then... stranger things have happened. And when they happen, Mr. Sholmes is usually at the heart of them. Oh boy, oh boy. So I guess we're done. There it is, Madame Tussfeld's. So another new location. I'm kind of torn because I feel like we've got to be approaching the end. Like, I would imagine maybe we go to Madame Tussfeld's, maybe talk to Sholmes, and then it's over. But I really don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the video here. I think we got a decent amount done. You know, we finished talking to Zieks and defendant. We got to investigate the crime scene. Talk to Gregson and see Gina again. I was so happy to see her. So if the next part of this investigation ends up being like 10 minutes or 15 minutes or something, I'll obviously continue. I'll start the trial in the next episode, but we'll see how much is left. Honestly, I don't know. I don't even know what this location we're going to, Madame Tussfeld's or whatever, has to do with the case at all. I'm assuming since we're meeting Hurley there, it has to have some significance, since they're introducing it to us. But we'll see. This was a cool location. This was a cool crime scene. Like the whole London exhibit, because we've been hearing about it in the last game forever. They kept bringing it up, and in this game too, and now we get to finally actually go to it. It's cool. Like I said, I love the interconnectedness of everything, and I love how we're learning more about, like, Van Zieks, for example. They obviously talked about him being the Reaper of the Bailey in the last game, and now we're actually delving deep into it. I love it. So next time, like I said, we'll finish up the investigation, I'm sure, and maybe even start the trial, depending how much is left in the investigation. So, that's all I got. So thank you so much for watching, guys. If you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course hit the notification bell so you know more videos go up, and share the video and the channel with your friends, family, and loved ones. I appreciate you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful day, or night, whatever time it is when you're watching this. And I'll see you again next time. So take care, and bye-bye.